Aliens. You know that there's nothing that could possibly survive the coldest regions of Antarctica, but amidst the snow and ice, some believe that aliens have set up camp. These are not your typical extraterrestrials with flashy ships and laser beams, but rather a supposed secret base right beneath the icy surface. Think of it as an intergalactic Airbnb for space travelers looking for a chilly retreat away from their homelands, possibly using Antarctica as a layover before making their way to the next galaxy. But you might be wondering why they would choose Antarctica over, let's say, America. Well, it's the ultimate place for aliens to lay low. Imagine sneaking into a bustling city like New York with millions of witnesses. That's way too risky. Antarctica, on the other hand, is practically deserted. The only witnesses are penguins and seals, who aren't exactly known for their reporting skills. There's also the theory that aliens are fascinated by Antarctica's ancient ice sheets, which might hold clues to Earth's past. Kind of like if a space explorer was digging through old yearbooks to figure out what Earth was like before Facebook and Instagram. Blood Falls. Let's say you're an explorer in Antarctica, braving the icy wilderness, but in the middle of what seems to be an all-white affair, you see the world's biggest ketchup spill. That's what's called the Blood Falls, a place that may sound like it belongs to a horror movie, but is an incredible natural phenomenon. This strange discovery is a crimson waterfall dropping from the Taylor Glacier. Its red color would make you think someone dropped a gigantic bag of Kool-Aid powder, but this scene isn't a vampire's cocktail party. Instead, it's science in action. The blood red color comes from iron oxide, better known as rust. Picture this: a lake trapped under a glacier is just chilling out, full of iron. When the glacier decides to crack open, it's like a big reveal at a fashion show, and the iron-rich water spills out and meets the oxygen in the air. Rust is born, giving the glacier a dramatic makeover that makes it look like it's bleeding. It's as if Mother Nature got a bit too enthusiastic with her spray on rust and decided to give the glacier a fabulous rusted red runway look. But the eerie scene isn't the only thing that attracted scientists to Blood Falls. The glacier is full of microorganisms that fascinated scientists, as these creatures have been living in their iron-rich paradise with a splash of color for millions of years. Antarctic icefish. Imagine living in Antarctica without a cozy igloo to warm up in. Instead, you're a fish swimming in the frigid waters. Welcome to the world of the Antarctic icefish, nature's version of a chill seeker. These fish are so cool in the literal sense that they make other fish look like they're swimming in a hot tub. These icefishes are the only known animals with a spinal cord without hemoglobin in their blood. Basically, they have no red blood cells. Instead of having a rich, iron-packed plasma like most fish, their blood is as clear as a newly cleaned window. It's almost like their blood has decided, no color, no problem. This lack of hemoglobin is perfect for their icy environment. It means they don't need to carry oxygen the way other fish do. The cold, oxygen-rich water around them is enough. But don't think these fish are just swimming around, chilling like they've won a genetic lottery. They've got antifreeze proteins in their blood that prevent ice crystals from forming. It's like their blood is a personal frostbite cream, ensuring they don't turn into fishsicles. Their body is designed to stay flexible and unfrozen in water temperatures that would make your average polar bear shiver. To top it all off, these fish are experts at making the most out of their freezing habitat. They've adapted to life in extreme cold by evolving special enzymes that work better at low temperatures, making sure they don't slow down and start swimming as if they were in a slow-motion video. Antarctic penicillin. You know that penicillin is that stuff that's basically the superhero of antibiotics because it's excellent at killing dangerous bacteria. But you probably didn't expect Antarctica to have a vast supply of penicillin just waiting in the chilly wonderland. In 2005, scientists were scraping ice and snow off rocks in Antarctica, probably looking for something worth a ton of money to bring back home. Instead, they stumbled upon something that could cure infections. We're talking about penicillin, found in the most unlikely places. Imagine penicillin hanging out on the ice like it's on a permanent vacation from being a lifesaver. It turns out that even in Antarctica's frozen wastelands, tiny bacteria are doing their thing. These bacteria produce penicillin to defend themselves from other microorganisms trying to mess with their icy turf. It's kind of like how you'd put up a do not disturb sign if you were a bacteria in Antarctica. But this penicillin is cooler than the standard variety, and we're not talking about its freezing temperature. This penicillin had unique properties that made it extra potent because it was produced in a harsh environment. So not only did they discover a new antibiotic in the least expected place, but they also found a Super Saiyan version of it: fossil forests. While you already know that Antarctica is around 97.6% ice with no green stuff at all, a strange discovery would make you think this continent may have been a prehistoric beach vacation. We are talking about frozen forests. It used to be a party zone for lush, leafy forests that could make the Amazon rainforest look like a backyard garden. It was a land full of ancient trees, suggesting that it used to be a warm area where life could easily thrive. But someone had to push the cool button on Earth's climate control, turning Antarctica into a massive ice cube. While the continent may be frozen, scientists found entire forests under layers of ice and rock while digging through the ice. It's like you accidentally left your summer vacation photos in the freezer and totally forgot about it for 10 million years. The fossils include giant tree trunks and leaf imprints that make you wonder if dinosaurs might have been napping under them. The discovery reminds us that Earth has had severe climate mood swings over the millennia, from balmy forests to icy wastelands. It's like the planet can be pretty bipolar. Of course, now that you know that this continent used to be tropical, you might wonder if cavemen used to go to Antarctica instead of Hawaii for summer vacations. Antarctic worms. You're pretty familiar with the worms you see in your garden. These guys are known for going through your compost pile and helping you with your gardening to make the backyard flourish. But Antarctica also has a few worms of its own. The only difference is that they're not there to make the continent's icy backyard look like a floral garden, but are simply living in the oceans, like frozen noodles. The Antarctica worm is an unusual creature that scientists didn't think could exist in such a harsh environment. They live in the icy, nutrient-poor waters of the continent. That means these guys are survival experts who could give every survival expert a run for their money. Instead of burrowing through the soil, these worms are just chilling in the cold, in the literal sense. They've evolved to survive extreme temperatures that would make most creatures shiver in their skin. Their metabolism is so slow that they're practically frozen in time, and that's why these guys are simply chilling, doing almost nothing. These worms also have a diet focused on bacteria and tiny microbes, essentially dining on the microscopic equivalent of salad scraps. They're like the picky eaters of the worm world, but instead of throwing a tantrum, they just digest their nutrient-poor dinner with remarkable patience. Scientists believe these worms have unique proteins that help them survive in such harsh conditions. It's like they've got built-in thermal insulation and antifreeze, so they don't turn into wormsicles. Of course, these worms are important to science because they help you understand how different organisms evolve the way they do to adapt to their less than ideal surroundings. Pyramids. When you think about pyramids, you probably think of tall structures standing on top of deserts, but you probably don't know that pyramids could also be found on Antarctic ice. Amidst this vast expanse of frosty nothingness, some claim there are pyramids hiding out. The idea that pyramids exist in Antarctica is largely based on satellite images that show interestingly shaped ridges and formations. These structures look a little like someone tried to build a pyramid out of ice cubes, but got bored halfway through. Conspiracy theorists have had a field day with this one, suggesting that these pyramids are remnants of an ancient civilization, or perhaps a secret base for aliens. Of course, the scientific community is more grounded. They suggest that these pyramids are just natural geological formations. The Antarctic landscape is a master of camouflage, and what appears to be a pyramid is often just a rugged piece of rock sculpted by nature's relentless forces. Think of it as nature's way of throwing a little mystery into the mix, just to keep things interesting. So while it's fun to imagine ancient aliens hosting ice sculpture contests in Antarctica, the reality is a bit less glamorous. The pyramids are probably just some cool rock formations that decided to dress up for the occasion. No hidden civilizations or extraterrestrials, just nature having a bit of fun with its artistic flair. If you're looking to dive deeper into the mysteries of Antarctica, or simply nature's artistic personality, then you might want to join our Discord, where you can be as chill as these frozen pyramids. Frozen DNA. Antarctica may be full of penguins and a few other creatures built to survive the cold, but this wasn't always the case if you have DNA samples of other creatures frozen in the ice. In this icy realm, scientists are basically treasure hunters, digging up ancient frozen DNA from the icy depths. And they do it because they're searching for clues about life that once existed in this cold, remote place. Antarctica used to be a lush green paradise with all sorts of flora and fauna. Over the past millions of years, this chilly land has preserved the DNA of ancient organisms in its icy grip. It's like nature's version of a cryogenic freezer, but instead of keeping your sperm samples frozen, it houses the DNA of countless organisms that lived millions of years ago. This frozen DNA is a bit like finding a time capsule buried in your backyard, but instead of old baseball cards, you get the genetic blueprints of long extinct creatures. Scientists extract these samples and study them to piece together the evolutionary puzzle. It's like a genetic game of hide and seek, where the secrets of ancient life hide deep in that ancient DNA. But the real magic happens when these scientists unlock the secrets of how ancient life adapted to extreme cold, potentially allowing us to find a way to live through the next ice age, or even colonize Antarctica. Dinosaurs. Around 100 million years ago, during the late Cretaceous period, Antarctica was a bit more like a dinosaur-friendly summer camp, complete with lush vegetation and mild temperatures. Think of it as the dinosaurs' version of a beach resort, only with snow instead of sand, and woolly mammoths instead of seagulls. Dinosaurs roamed around in what would have been a temperate forest. It was so warm that you might have thought you were on a dino-themed vacation. But then millions of years later, Antarctica decided to go for a major climate makeover. It's like it went from a tropical resort to an Arctic igloo. Imagine the dinosaurs freezing their scales off in a prehistoric blizzard, all while trying to figure out how to make snow boots. They'd probably be thinking they should have checked the weather forecast before going on a vacation in Antarctica. In reality, the bones of these ancient giants have been found in Antarctica's rocks, preserved in the ice. Scientists have discovered fossilized remains of dinosaurs that were around 100 million years ago when it was warmer. It's like finding a dino-sized popsicle in the middle of a snowstorm, basically a chilly discovery. But the biggest possible plot twist is that there could be more than just dino bones hiding in this frozen wasteland. With Antarctica preserving things better than a walk-in freezer, there's probably an entire dinosaur perfectly intact somewhere in the cold. If that's the case, it would be Jurassic Park all over again. Ancient meteorites. Let's say that you're a giant space rock flying through the cosmos millions of years ago. You and your other rock buddies fly by Earth as part of a meteor shower, only for you to crash into the planet. With no way of returning to space, you're basically chilling in Antarctica, thinking that no one will ever find you. Of course, scientists eventually found you and your ancient meteorite friends on that frozen continent. These rocks were once part of a series of meteorite crash landings that happened way back in the day and were waiting for scientists to find and marvel at their uniqueness. While we've seen meteorites in other parts of the world, these ancient rocks are unique because they've existed for countless millennia. This means they're like cosmic time capsules containing clues about the early solar system and maybe how our planet got its act together. Basically, you're looking at an old letter from that long-lost ex-lover explaining why they broke up with you. These meteorites can tell scientists about the building blocks of planets because they contain minerals and elements that come from different celestial bodies, kind of like getting a peek into the recipe book of the universe. Now, you might be wondering why these meteorites ended up in Antarctica. Well, meteorites land everywhere on Earth. It's just that they're more preserved in Antarctica because it's like the planet's giant freezer. When meteorites land in the ice, they're placed in a frozen-in-time state with all their spacey secrets intact. So while we're all trying to keep warm with hot cocoa and blankets, these meteorites sit on the ice, ready to spill the cosmic tea. In short, thanks to Antarctica's icy embrace, we are getting a front row seat to the universe's greatest hits.